Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Ellen. So we're going to work small today. Small landscape, if you're just starting out, small sky, small everything, giving you some really cool tricks and techniques on how to paint this landscape. So when you go to do something bigger, you know what you're going for. And it really going to go fast with the sky if you're going to make this cloudy kind of sky. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. And if you're a Patreon member, you get the extended version. So without further ado, let's get started. And also it comes with a reference photo. Okay, so if you're just starting out doing landscapes for watercolor, start small. I have a 5 by 7 inch piece of 100% cotton cold press. This is a block from Fabriano, bright white. Doesn't have a super tooth to it, but it has a good enough tooth and it holds the water pretty well. I have a reference photo they're giving you, and I really just kind of cut off this whole section on the right. I liked the water with the flowers and the tree. But again, I'm not going to paint it to a T. I'm going to just interpret it, right? So, you just take for yourself, just draw like a line where the background horizon line is here, and I just kind of drew the tree right here, and just kind of figure the land is here and the blue is there. Don't really need a trace for this, all that good stuff. I'm going to use some cobalt blue, and I'm using my Princeton 12 Aqua Elite brush. I like the bright color of the cobalt. And I'm going to play with making a little bit of clouds in this as well, and I'll show you what I mean. So, I'm going to wet this area right here with my brush. As you see, I'm like tilting it, so it helps with the clouds. It's good to tilt your paper. If you can paint on a tilt or on an easel, it also helps. And I'm just going to grab some of my cobalt right here, like so. I'm not going to paint every area, so you see clouds are here, up in here, kind of tilt back so they don't move as much, the paint, and kind of down here for the clouds. So we get those nice clouds happening. See, I left the white part, kind of did all the work for you. And you move pretty fast. And when you do wet, this is wet on wet sky. Just leave it like that, right? And the part that's left that's white, we can add some gray tones to it. So I would use ultramarine blue deep, or I can even add some burnt sienna to this color. It's going to make it brown. Add more blue, it's more bluish gray. But I use ultramarine blue deep and burnt sienna to get a nice gray tone. And you're going to take that color, the grays, and just kind of put it on the bottom half of the clouds. Not where the white part is up here, just the bottom part of it, to give it that dark shadow that you see in the clouds. Leaving the upper area white. You see? And it will look like the clouds that you see in the photograph. And again, don't freak out if it doesn't come out the way you want it to. It's an exercise in playing. Now it's just one tone of this gray. You might want to go back in and make it a little thicker of the paint, make it a little bit darker. So the same two colors, ultramarine blue deep and burnt sienna. Now that's brown. As you add more blue, it becomes more gray. And there's hardly any water in here, so it's a lot thicker. And I could add a little bit more blue. It's more of a bluish gray. And again, just tapping like the bottom lower half with that dark, thicker gray tone. And you'll see this making that cloud really kind of pop. Three-dimensional. Just on the bottom half. And you could add a few little marks kind of going across. Like as the clouds go further down towards the horizon, they get more linear. So I'm just going to grab just a little bit of gray, kind of go down here, just like so. And those are our clouds. Now, if you wanted more, you can remove some paint. I see the kind of puffy and goofy in some areas. I might clean off my brush. This is another little technique. It's called lifting. And you kind of take the paint, lift it up, and tap it back on the paper towel. It has to be damp on your brush though. Fairly clean. See, I'm kind of going in there and fixing those clouds. And maybe I'll remove some paint here. Kind of play with adding more clouds. These guys should be a little puffier. They're too linear. And looks a lot better. I might go back in and add a little bit more gray and fill that in. And then I happen to have a dark cloud on top. So I'm grabbing my gray, going back in here. If you hear a lawnmower, it's because I have a home studio. Remember this gray from this one here on the top? So I'm just going to grab the gray and put it on top. As you see that cloud on the very tippy top. Going back and adding some gray here from this cloud. And then the thicker, darker gray that I mixed up here on the bottom. And those are our clouds, right? Don't worry about too much of that. And then for the bottom, we're going to start to do our blue for the water, which is this little section here. I'm grabbing the cobalt. And I'm just going to take the cobalt and go like this, leaving a little white. That is the little lake / marsh area. It's kind of mimicking the sky. Got a little bit brighter blue happening here. And there we go. Just wiggling that paint. These are kind of mimicking the clouds here, so you might want to move a little bit of paint here. As you can see from the photograph, and it gets a little brighter blue, so I'm adding some more cobalt just on the bottom here. Okay. If you've lost, if you go back into the sky here, when you've lost some of the blue, you could start to add, it would start to make cauliflower blooms. Like there's little cauliflower blooms happening here, but I don't mind them. You might want to wait till it completely dries and then go back and then the blue. So, I'm going to mix up some greens. Got a lot of greens happening here. And some browns. I like to get that wash in. Cadmium yellow deep. Prussian blue, make a nice green. You could add some burnt umber or burnt sienna in here, change the green tone. There's the Prussian blue again with some burnt umber and some yellow, a deeper green. If you want a really bright green, you would add peacock blue. I'm adding some more yellow to this. So you got these greens, a little bit of, they show a little bit of this rust kind of color tone. You can put a little bit of that in by adding some burnt sienna. So I'm going to start to get this part going. There's that rustic green color and burnt sienna. I'll throw some of that in a little bit. Grabbing my greens, just really loosely painting them. Going right in here, getting this wash in. Grabbing my yellow, adding more color because I have to get some more water. Just throw that in there like that. It's our little marsh. Really kind of quick. This is such a small area to paint, but it helps when it's small. It's not so intimidating. You don't feel like you're going to screw it up. Going in here and adding some greens, deeper greens here. Just filling in all this area with green. Some of it's a little more rustic looking than other areas. I do have a little mound over here. Can throw that in, and you could just kind of play with this, adding in some of the colors. Now you can see there's a reflection happening here. So this water is pretty much dry. You could kind of take your brush, and I'm still using the 12, by the way, and you can kind of wiggle, like you see here, like these little greens. Kind of wiggle, leave some space, and leave that down here like that. You're leaving some blue in there. You're wiggling that. Now we're going to let all this dry. I'm going to put some color in here. We're going to start to put our tree in and all these blooms, and we're almost done. For the tree, I'll use ultramarine blue deep and some burnt sienna. Mix that brown, brownish gray brown. It is a wonderful birch tree. Get them a little bit more blue. And mine's a little bit darker. You can add the whitish color. If you did some masking fluid in the beginning, you could have had some white there, but hey, we could just play with this guy, adding in the brown and some branches. I'm using this 12 still. I'm going to grab a liner brush. This is a Princeton Umbria series. Remember, it's just a study really, so I'm going to put some twigs out here, coming down, up and over, like here. And we'll add some wonderful greenery on this. And then there's twigs kind of happening all over, coming down here. Just take your brush. I love a liner brush. You can just do like these little jerky movements. And you see some of these trees happening back here. And then that's reflecting in the water as well. I'm not going to do that tree that was out here. So, talked about this many times, how to paint some simple tree. We did a simple tree, some foliage on the tree. You can take your brush like this one, or even a smaller one, like a Princeton 8 long round. Mix up your color. I always start off with the light color. You want to start light and then go dark. And you can just take the brush and hold it on its side and kind of just tap along like this to add your foliage, your leaves. Another thing you can use is a couple of brushes. There's some leaves happening on this tree. There's a couple of brushes I like to play with. And there's trees back here. Darker green patches kind of happening here. You just take your brush and go across like this. Just get really big and bold with it. Don't paint it tiny little strokes like this. Just go across. Add some little tippy taps color. And we're going to add some more foliage. I use this brush that's just an old bristle brush that's for acrylic paint. And you can mix this up, kind of thick paint. I'm grabbing the yellow and the Prussian blue. Get more pigment and make it a little bit thicker. Let's get some more yellow happening. Tap it on the paper towel. And you just gotta go like this, and you're just kind of twisting it, and you're creating all the leaves that you need to do. Without really much effort. It's minimal effort. Just going down here like this. Look how cool that is. Grab a little brush and destroy a little bristle brush. Don't throw away all your brushes. You can use them for so many things. I'm going to have more yellow paint. I'm going to paint some dark color in between. But look at that. It's already created all those little leaves for you without minimal time. And now I'm going to grab my Prussian blue, a little bit of umber, and some yellow. And we've got that dark green, which is back here. Create that simple trees back here and out here. You see how easy this is? Again, you can add the texture with some of these back here. Really kind of fun, simple. Take that darker color, kind of maneuver it around the branches here and back here. Look how simple that little landscape has become because of this little brush. Right? Definitely need some doodads up here. Making sense with all the clouds and everything. I love this little brush. It's a destroyed little bristle brush. Be amazed all the cool stuff you can do with this. Now, it's down in this area, we have a lot of grasses. We go back with our little liner brush. And you can just go like this. Really kind of like cool energy. Whipping it back and forth. We don't want soldier grass where it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. You want to maneuver it, whipping it back and forth like this. You could even just take like a Princeton 8 long round. I'm going to grab some more browns in here. And just kind of play with the color a little bit. Put some grasses up over in the blue. And this grass is kind of coming out here too. So you can kind of throw in the color a little bit. And then add some darker color, some lighter color. Go into the edge here. Whip it up. See? If you don't have a liner brush. Now, see how I put that dark color in here? We can do a little trick. We put that dark color paint in here. And you want the light color to show through. you just grab a credit card once it's seeped in a little bit of the paper, and you can scrape up and that light color comes through. You see that? That we already painted underneath it. It's a little trick that's really quick and fast. It's one of my favorite little tricks, and you can use the fatter end or the skinnier end to create those little glasses that have later if you didn't put masking fluid down. Look at that, right? Very, very simple. I just love it. And I'm gonna grab my liner brush to create really cool, simple grasses out here. And coming down here, the reflection. There was some coming down like this. Again, over like this, whatnot. Really kind of simple. Play with the liner brush and that little bristle brush. Now, take some gouache. You can use gouache with watercolor. A lot of professional artists do. They use some opaque color, and this is an opaque water-based color. I'm just grabbing it, and you can kind of just tippy-tap all those little white flowers. I'm using the Princeton 8 long round. You can splatter a little bit, but you'd have to cover the top. So tapping helps. So if I was going to splatter a little bit, I would take a paper towel or something over here. Or maybe let's go this way. Then I would loosen up the paint. Don't want to hit the blue part. And I would splatter it this way. They will make small ones though if you use a small brush, bigger ones with a bigger brush. It looks a little bit better, a little more realistic if it's splattered, and then you need some big ones here and there. Look how cute. Now you could use white watercolor, it's just that it's more translucent. Look at that. And we can take some of this wonderful color, add it to the gray that we mixed up, and then you can get that highlight on the birch tree. See? Just right on the tree, some of these branches here. You can use it. There are no rules like that. If there's a competition rule where you can't use the white opaque, then you just white watercolor because it's actual watercolor, or mask it out. But I think it looks great. And you can also use that opaque color and mix it with some yellow and some of your greens to get the highlight of the leaves up here, you know, because they've kind of lost if they're on top of a color. You know, even some grasses down here. I'm telling you, it's great. Simple, quick, little landscape. Super fun spring landscape with the clouds. And remember, we talked about the blue. If it wasn't blue enough in the beginning, because it dried and it was so light, it's dry now. I could have done this earlier, but I'm just showing you. Loosen up my cobalt. You can, little trick, you can go in a little bit afterwards. Sometimes it works and sometimes it's not great. I'm playing with it a little bit. So what happens in the edge here, you want it to kind of blend. You have to clean up your brush, clear water, and then kind of blend it towards the white puffy cloud. But you'll have a deeper blue color if you missed it, right? If that's what you were going for. If you were going for a deeper blue in some of these areas, that's all you do. You do have to wait till it dries, like I said. Otherwise, it won't come out right. And you can just kind of blend it. You have a nice deeper blue color for your clouds. It's up to you if you want to do that. I got a little funky cloud happening. I could actually go right over this gray with my cobalt. I'll just highlight this a little bit better. Look at that. There we go. You can play around with things and add a little bit more blue by wiggling this cobalt in here in the water, back and forth, leaving some light space. And look how sweet. This didn't take much time at all. I think it came out cute. Let me know your thoughts. So that's how you would grab and make that blue if it was like, oh, it's too light, I didn't like it. You just kind of have to play with it afterwards and just kind of blend it. Don't do it when it's super wet. Then you'll create those cauliflower blooms. And that's not what we're going for, right? Exactly. The little trick you can do. So I hope you enjoy this. Let me know thoughts. Have fun painting!